It was the summer of 1984, and Indian Airlines Flight 405 was set to make its routine journey from Srinagar in the picturesque Kashmir Valley to New Delhi. On board were 57 passengers and a crew of 7, all blissfully unaware of the terrifying ordeal that would soon unfold. The clear skies and serene views masked what would become one of the darkest days in Indian aviation history. As the plane cruised peacefully, passengers settled into their seats. Tourists flipped through guidebooks, business travelers made small talk, and families exchanged stories. It was a scene of comfort and normalcy, a stark contrast to the chaos that would erupt within hours. No one could have predicted that this flight was about to be thrust into the headlines worldwide. The hijackers made their move shortly after takeoff. Armed with pistols, knives, and grenades, 4 men stormed the aisles, their presence shattering the calm atmosphere within seconds. The leader of the group barked commands in a chilling voice that cut through the cabin air.
This aircraft is under our control. Follow our instructions, or you will face dire consequences.
Panic rippled through the passengers. Mothers clutched their children tightly, eyes darted nervously between fellow passengers and the hijackers. Some tried to keep their composure, while others fought to suppress their tears. The crew, trained for emergencies but taken by surprise, worked carefully to avoid provoking the hijackers. The cockpit, once a sanctuary for skilled pilots, was now the nerve center of the terror operation.
The hijackers' demands were revealed amid the mounting turmoil. Affiliated with a Kashmiri militant group, they sought the release of armed compatriots imprisoned by Indian authorities. Their message was clear. The safety of everyone aboard rested not in the passengers' hands, but in the Indian government's willingness to negotiate. They instructed the pilots to divert the flight to Lahore, Pakistan, where they could leverage international attention to amplify their cause. As Flight 405 touched down in Lahore under emergency conditions, the eyes of the world turned toward the unfolding drama. Pakistani officials and diplomats quickly coordinated with their Indian counterparts to de-escalate the situation. A tense standoff ensued, stretching over hours that felt like days to those trapped inside the aircraft. Negotiators pleaded for patience and compromise, aware that any misstep could lead to catastrophic consequences. Inside the plane, passengers became unwitting symbols of resilience in the face of unimaginable fear. Whispered prayers circulated through the cabin. Strangers became allies, offering each other comfort and solidarity. The human spirit, though shaken, proved unbreakable in the crucible of shared despair. The hijackers grew restless as time dragged on, their threats becoming more erratic. But as dusk turned to night, their hopes began to falter. Pakistani authorities, backed by an international resolve not to bow to terror, managed a breakthrough. In a tactical operation, the hijackers were subdued, and Flight 405 was liberated without bloodshed. When the passengers and crew disembarked, their faces reflected both relief and disbelief. They were alive, free from the clutches of terror, yet forever marked by the ordeal. Flight 405 became a symbol of the fragility of the human experience, the sharp contrast between ordinary moments and extraordinary trials. As the passengers reunited with loved ones and returned to their lives, the incident raised questions that continue to resonate. How do nations navigate the thin line between negotiation and resistance to terror? How can individuals stay resilient in the face of fear? The hijacking of Indian Airlines, Flight 405, remains not just an event, but a pivotal reminder of the complexities and challenges of life in a turbulent world.